Hey YouTube, this is the Art of Prepping. I just want to warn you guys to just be careful about the information you get on the web. There's a lot of disinformation, a lot of problems with facts that pertain to home defense and self-defense, especially about what type of weapon system is more ideal for a home defense situation. On the website, thetruthaboutguns.com, I wouldn't even recommend to even go over there, but they're totally putting down rifles. That is actually the complete opposite of the truth. They're saying a handgun would probably be the best home self-defense gun, followed by the shotgun and then the rifle. I'm not really sure what the guy or the group is smoking, but you don't have to look that hard and you don't have to talk to that many experts to find out. It's the exact complete opposite. The rifle is superior above the shotgun and the handgun. Secondly, you go to the shotgun and then the pistol. The pistol is usually just used to fight to a long arm, and then the whole thing is jacked up, and there's a lot of bad information. So ideally, for a home defense situation, a box-fed, a magazine-fed, semi-automatic rifle of your choosing, it's going to be the superior option, not just for form factor and weight, but also because of the round capacity and because of the less recoil and placement, shot after shot in quick succession versus a shotgun and other different types of platforms such as a pistol. And I would probably not pick a carbine. If you're very, very recoil sensitive and you can't handle any other weapon, a carbine with the largest caliber possible would be something to go into, like a 45 ACP or something. Maybe a 9mm if you have large capacity magazines and you train on it a lot. But that's if you don't have any other options. So when we talk about battle rifles or home defense rifles, basically self-defense rifles is going to be the choice, hands down, no qualms. You definitely need a white light on your freaking rifle and a sling, and preferably a red dot if you have that availability. Now, what type of rifle should you pick? Now, that's your decision. That's a personal choice. But there typically is about 5 different types. They're mostly military inspired, and they are basically civilian versions of such. And they kind of go in this succession. We'll start pretty much at number 5 and work to number 1. So number 5, the SKS and its variants. Very affordable and somewhat available even today. And you do see them, with the detachable magazines or the fixed magazines. Just depends on which kind you get, but I definitely get the removable, magazine, so you can actually put, fresh ammo in there instead of loading it from the top. The next would be, and I had kind of a difficulty putting this in there, but I think the Ruger Mini 14. I think that's a great option. It's a little old school, but it's a classic, and for most people, they say it works like a charm. Just be careful on some of the aftermarket parts, such as magazines, like from Tapco and stuff. It may be just, they don't fit sometimes 100%. They might be a little tight from what I've understood. The next one would probably be the F&N Scar. It's a beautiful gun. They're very expensive, and this is the one that I was a little bit the most hesitant to even bring up because it's very expensive, and unless you really have the resources, this is kind of more of a pipe dream for most. And so that's something that, I think it would be awesome to have one of those. Maybe like in a desert tan or a coyote or some kind of cool color. I just like the whole point, though, that it has a collapsible stock like that, or a floating stock, I'm sorry. That would be the coolest. The next one, I think number 4, would be, and I think this is a pretty decent option, is the AK-47 or the 74. Depends on the variant that you're into. And they have all kinds of there. Some of them are milled receivers. Some of them are just stamped receivers. They have all kinds of choices these days, especially even the made in the U.S. versions are very high quality. And there's a whole slew of different companies that make AK-47 and 74, so just keep an eye on those. But number 1, though, I think is, and then this is just kind of speaks in volume, and the sales reports really back this as being true, is the AR-15 and all these variants, So this is obviously modeled after the M4 and all those variants. And, for all those crazy people watching this that don't have any clue what I'm talking about, they are not assault weapons. The military fully automatic and select fire versions of the M4, that you may be able to classify that as assault weapon, even though the whole term is just ridiculous. It's a gun, it is used to protect people. So why get caught in the terms? But an AR-15 is the civilian version of the M4, and it is not an assault rifle. So with that being said, those are the top 5 that I would say that are out there. It doesn't mean that that's my top 5 for me personally. It's just what I've researched and kind of came up with, over the years, and basically just kind of being into forums and just kind of reading. I just get kind of a little concerned though when I hear like from so-called professionals or websites that actually are devoted to firearms and personal defense, when they kind of get crazy types of antics going, and they promote handguns as your primary gun, or they put down semi-automatic rifles and their capacity and to actually defend you. I don't really understand what the whole motivation of this is. I really don't. Maybe these writers are just pathetic little whiners, and maybe they can't even handle a rifle's recoil, and maybe that's the real reason that they put them down. But for us real people, us men and women that are strong and able-bodied, we can handle the majority of rifles with no problem. As you know, if most of you have fired an AR-15, a .223 5.56 round is very, very mild, almost no recoil in real life. I'm not even joking. For especially those people who don't know what I'm talking about or haven't fired an AR-15 in the standard chamber. Sorry about that. My neighbors are driving their four-wheelers up and down the road like a bunch of freaking dumbasses. So anyways, yeah, I mean, you get to a point though that when it comes to the rifles, man, you got to just use common sense and don't listen to all these crazy types of writers and these websites that, I mean, where are they even getting this knowledge? I mean, they're not getting this information from any real expert or ballistic test. And hold on. Okay, I'm back again. My neighbors like to go up and down the road sometimes on the weekend, and so it's their right to do it, but it's just very excessively loud, and it's hard to do a video. So, okay, and just in closing though, just be aware of the people who are posers and that they act like they have knowledge on self-defense and they don't. And going back to recoil, anybody can pretty much handle an AR-15. Okay, guys, that's the end of the nuts and bolts. An AK-47, it might be just a little bit much for some people, but truthfully, I think 80 to 90% of people can handle it no problem. You just gotta get used to it. Now, inside of a home, would you want to be firing something that's that loud and with that much power? Maybe not with maybe a 7.6 by 6.2 by 39. An AK might just be a little bit too much in your environment, and you have to kind of work that out and to see what kind of hazards you pose. Maybe it'll go through your walls. It has the propensity to go through the house and go to another house. That's why I think that a 5.56 round is probably going to be a little bit better for most people. And so anyways, those are just some thoughts there. And throw in your thoughts too about your favorite rifle, your battle rifle, or just if you could have any rifle that you would want. I think for me, if I had unlimited funds, I'd go with an F&N Scar, probably like in a maybe like a Desert Tan or something really cool, with like an aim point red dot or something really cool, and maybe like a really kick-ass Streamlight or maybe even like a Surefire light on there. And man, that's what I would do, man, if things were really unlimited. But they definitely aren't unlimited. So yeah, so put your 2 cents in there and we'll continue the conversation another time. It's getting dark. As always, be safe.